All right, let's go over part two, understand amortized loan in this video. Maybe that's not how I spell CarMax. Okay, so let's see what we have. So I have page 4, just talking about what it is, and couple examples on page 5 and page 6, okay? Same thing, credit card or amortized loan, they're debt, okay? We're trying to pay them off. But amortized loans are a little better. So we'll talk about what that is in just a second. Oh, nice. Well, let's read whether following statements that I gave on number 1 and 2 make sense or does not make sense, okay? My car loan at CarMax was 6-year loan at interest rate of 7.95%. So when my bank offered me a same term loan at 4.5%, I took it and used it to pay off the car loan with CarMax. True story. I did that the other day. When I first bought this used car, CarMax gave me a higher interest rate of 7.95%. But as I've been paying it off, my credit got better. And the other day I was at bank, and my banker was like, "Sue, you wanna see if you qualify for this, better car loan with us?" And the only downside is that they will have to run your credit, and sometimes when people check your credit, the credit score goes down a little bit, but it was more about saving money than credit score at that point. So I did go ahead and do it, and I did lower my interest rate. I can't remember if it was the same thing, but something similar. So does this make sense? Yes, it does. Say yes, it makes sense, because if you can get a lower interest rate somewhere and refinance that loan, and sometimes people take out a personal loan at a lower interest rate to pay off the credit card. And if you're saving money that way, um, maybe opening a new credit line, or people running your credit may lower your credit score a little bit. I'm not saying you should do that every chance, but for me, I think it worth it. It did worth it. So that makes sense. This statement makes sense. There are people doing it, and you can take advantage of it. But you do also want to think about: did I recently open too many line of credits, or will I mean, if you're in the middle of buying a house, then you probably shouldn't open any new line of credit. But this sentence definitely makes sense because I actually did it. All right, next one. My sister makes only the minimum required payments on her credit card. Oh, that's not good. We should not do that. Each month, because that way she'll have more money of her own to keep. That's not good. I know somebody does that. I used to do that when I first got my credit card. It said minimum payment. That's what I need to pay. So I paid it. No, that's how that's how your debt grows. Okay, don't do that, because if you do that, the longer you have your debt, the more interest is going to accrue, and the more debt you're going to have. So although there are people doing that, just paying their minimum payment on their credit card, this is not good, because will she really have more money to keep? She'll have more cash in her hand right now, but she will end up paying more money in long term, because instead of being able to she may be able to pay this credit card off in like 1 year or 2 years instead of like 10 years. So if you guys get your credit card statement, if you do, take a look. Don't they also give you this like nice looking chart that shows you if you only make minimum payments, you will be done with your debt in 12 years. And then they say if you pay more, you will be done with this like in 3 years. So they give you all this like very good information. And I know like times like this, it's hard to make more payments on credit cards, but it's not really good to make only minimum required payments. And I guess the credit card companies and the banks, they want you to do that because they want you to have debt with them. They want you to have that credit card debt longer so that they can charge you interest. But that's really not a good thing for us, right? Because we'll be paying more interest in long run. All right. Let's see. Credit cards are different from loans for car, education, or home. Because when you get a car loan, or student loan or home loans, they tell you, oh, you'll be paying this much for the next however many years, right? Credit cards are different because there is not a mandatory fixed payment due each month. They just tell you to pay that minimum payment, and that is so different from a fixed payment on a car, student loan, or home loan. Credit cards have minimum payments due based on your balance, but you are free to pay whatever you wish above and beyond that minimum. Not beyond the minimum, because I think if you pay I'm sorry, they said beyond, not below. You shouldn't pay below minimum, because if you pay below minimum, they will charge you like what? For my bank, I think it was $37 or $35. But if they say, hey, you only have to pay $35 this month, that's your minimum payment, you can pay $500 if you want and pay that debt off completely if you want. In addition, there is not a fixed term or length of time. So they're not going to tell you to finish your debt in 5 years or 30 years. They actually want you to have it forever so that you can pay them interest forever. In which to pay back the loan. Car loans, student loans, and home loans have fixed monthly payment and fixed term in which you pay off the loan. And these kind of loan types are called amortized. Okay, mort, M-O-R-T. The root mort in amortize as in mortality or death. Okay, you are gradually killing off your debt, and these are the better types of loans that you can have. Why do I say you may want to take out a small personal loan from a bank to pay off your credit card? Because credit cards, they give you too much freedom. Like, they only list the minimum payment, and they only, you can pay it off as long as you want. But these personal loans, they will have a fixed amount, a fixed payment. So unless you're very committed to pay off your credit card, these amortized loans are better because you are gradually really killing off your debt every month in a fixed period. Unlike credit card, you can have that debt forever, right? Like if you're really not managing it right. So we're gonna look at amortized loan in this video, and the three common types of amortized loans are home loan, like mortgage, car loans, because they tell you to pay this off in 5 years. Every month you pay the same amount, right? And then what else did we say? Oh, education, student loan too. So amortized loan, a loan that has a set length of time to pay back and a set schedule for when fixed regular payments are to be made. And they may sound stressful because you have to pay that amount every month for a fixed period of time. But the great news about these amortized loans is that you will eventually finish these loans in that fixed term of time, right? Unlike credit card, you don't know when you're going to be done if you're not really managing it. Like, remember that previous example where this guy paid $0 and actually spent $100 that month. If this continues, if this bad spending habit continues, we may have credit card debt for a very long time and paying more money on interest. So, all right, let's talk about this amortized loans this time. Example 1. Compare the monthly payment and total loan cost for the following pair of loan options. Assume that both loans are fixed rate and have the same closing cost. You need a $200,000 loan. Closing cost, you're trying to buy a home, huh? I recently bought a house, and I was like, what is this closing cost that I need to pay? Well, in order to close a deal on a, I guess like house buying, you gotta pay this thing called closing costs. But for our case, we're not really looking at this more closely. We're just going to figure out the monthly payment given APR and then the time period. What can we buy in Northern Virginia with $200,000? Maybe a small condo, right? Let's see. So you need a $200,000 loan to buy something. And we're not going to worry about the closing cost. But we got two options. A 30-year loan at an APR of 10%. Higher, huh? Compared to this 9.5. And the second one is 15-year loan at APR of 9.5%. I am guilty because I went with 30-year loan just to have a lower monthly payment. But here's the thing though. You buy a house, say that you're 25 and you bought a house. And if you go with 30-year loan, then you're gonna be paying for the next 30 years. So if you're 25 and you bought your first house, then you'll be done with your payment at like you're 55 years old. But if you're 25 and you go with a 15-year loan, you'll be done with your loan, your mortgage at 40-year old. So I mean, the more you pay, the shorter your loan payment will be, and the shorter loan period tends to have lower APR. And I think the APR for home buying nowadays are very low. So maybe you want to look into those. All right. It says find monthly payment for each options. And if we're finding monthly payment, we know which function to use, right? Let me go ahead and open up a blank Excel sheet over here. Oopsies, what's all that? Okay. Hello. I'm gonna go ahead and just open up a blank Excel sheet so that I can use it as a calculator. Okay. I'm just gonna use it as a calculator. So first one, option one, a 30-year loan at an APR of what? 10%. How much is the payment going to be? Equal sign PMT for payment. What's the rate? 10% divided by 12 because we're paying monthly payments, right? What's next? N per. Oh, N per. How many payments are we going to be making in the next 30 years? Or how many compounding period? That's really what N per is. 12 payments per year for the next 30 years. So 12 times 30. So how many mortgage are we paying? 12 times 30 is 360 payments in total. What's the present value? Present value in this loan is $200,000, right? $200,000 is how much we owe right now. And then we want the future value to be how much? We want it to be a 0. So that's what you will type in to find out the payment for 30-year option. Let me take a picture of this so that I can include it on your note. So hold on a second. I think I know what happened. Guys, take a look. When I enter 200, I use that comma there, right, to separate, but Excel don't like it. Remember, Excel, you just gotta type in 200,000 without a comma. Oh, okay, I almost messed up. I almost got a mortgage of $1. That would have been too good, right? So make sure you don't type in the comma when you type these in. So this should be good. I hit enter. So here is the mortgage. Here's the payment for every month. $1,755.14. Yeah, APR was high, I think. But that's going to be the amount that we pay every month. Okay, that's going to be the amount that we pay every month. Let me take a picture of it so that I can add it over here. Option one was 30 month, a 30-year. And we got the payment over here. Just bring them over here. Okay, awesome. We'll do the same thing for 15 years instead of 30 years. So give me 1 second as I format these all beautifully. Alrighty. And when it comes out as a negative, like a parenthesis in a red, this is a negative amount. They're telling us to pay off 1755.14 every month. Now let's do the monthly payment for option 2. Very similar. But a couple things to change right here, right? So instead of 10%, the 15-year loan option had an APR of 9.5%, still getting divided by 12, but it's not going to be 12 times 30, it's going to be 12 times what number? 15 for 15 years. Everything else stays the same. We're still borrowing $200,000, and our future goal is to have $0 left. So if I hit enter, now notice it's much higher. It's not, well, we'll just say much higher. It's about $300 higher than the 30-year option. So I'm going to, put these here and we'll talk about it. Because, in this option, because you're trying to pay off your loan at a faster rate, you don't want to be paying for the next 30 years. You want to be paying for just 15 years and be done with it. That's why your monthly payment is slightly higher, right? But, it really depends on your financial situation. You're going to make more money as your salary increase, as, you get more years of experience. So you'll be able to pay more later, but if you just got your entry-level job, you just got a job and you cannot afford this much every month, and you got to budget this, right? And you're more comfortable with paying 1755 for the next 30 years. Go with that option. That's okay. But I know a lot of people refinance as they, their salary increase, they get a big promotion, things like that. But if you are paying this off in 30 stretched out years, your monthly payment will be lower. And if you're trying to pay this off in 15 years and be done with it, your monthly payment will be slightly higher. So for right now, what would you go with? I mean, just looking at the number, I will go with this lower number. But what are we paying? Because nobody's letting we're paying a higher interest. Let's look at more parts to this question, okay? Because there's more hiding. Um, Find the total amount paid for each option. Okay. All right, take a look. So for option 1, remember each payment was that much, right? So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna multiply, right? Insert, I'm gonna go ahead and type in an equation. 1755.14 times every month, right? Every month. 12. But for the next how many years? 30 years. So if I do that, I just borrowed $200,000. I may be able to buy a condo in Woodbridge. 1755.14 times 12 times 30. Guess how much I end up paying in the 30 years? $631,000, 850.40. We can buy a single home somewhere. But why? Why so much? Didn't we only borrow $200,000? We did, but guess what? We gotta pay the interest, and we stretch it out as far as we can, right? We paid. We're waiting 30 years to pay this off, and if you borrow somebody's money for 30 years, they're gonna charge you a lot of interest, right? So that's why this answer came out so big. All right, let me go ahead and replace this over here, and then let's take a look at the other option. So after seeing this big number, you may not be happy with taking out the 30-year loan. You're like, that's too much. That's like double or it's triple of what we actually borrowed, right? All right, let's take a look at option 2. Remember option 2, just kind of, the monthly payment was $2,088.45, right? Now we're paying still 12 payments per year, but this is the 15-year option. So we're going to multiply that by 15. Now go ahead and multiply that on your calculator. I'm just doing that on my cell phone. 2088.45 times 12 times 15. Now this is what I got. 375,921. This is a little too good to be true. It's not as good as 200,000, but I'm going to double check my number. 2,088.45 times 12 times 15. Yes, it is that good. So guess what? That's the answer. Underline and everything. This is very, very impressive. Why? For a shorter loan period of 15 years, you still borrow the same amount. You're still living in that small apartment in Northern Virginia, but you're paying how much less if you take 631,850.40 minus 375,921. You saved $255,929.40 just for paying a little bit more every month. And what I mean by a little bit more, I don't think it's a little bit more for somebody who just got an entry-level job, right? But by paying $333 more every month in 15-year period instead of 30-year period, this person in long run will save $255,000, approximately. So this is my goal, personal goal. I told you, I bought a house and I decided to go with 30-year loan period. What I'm gonna do is, guys, I'm gonna probably refinance later and try to go with shorter term, because as I hope to get promotions and salary increase, I'll be able to pay more and paying more every month will make the term shorter, and I won't have to pay more than $1 million for my small single house in Fredericksburg. So I think these are very, very important examples that we get to go over together. As you probably, I don't know, maybe you don't plan on buying a house yet, but in the next 10 years, I think you will, or 15 years, you may. All right, so let's look at the last one. Compare the two options. Which appears to be a better option? I'll say, what do you think? It really depends, guys. Because I know spending 15 years is better than spending 30 years to pay off my mortgage, my loan. But why did I go with 30-year loan instead of 15-year loan? Because at that time, that was the better financing, that was the goal, or that was the option that really went better with my monthly budget, really. Maybe I couldn't spend that extra $500, but as things can change, you can pay more every month, but it really depends. If somebody cannot afford $2,088.45, then they shouldn't sign up for the second option. The second option is better, yes, we see that, but it really fits. It really depends on what fits you the best at that time, right? So I'll let you decide. What do you think? You may have to read, and I don't know, how will my math lab ask you to decide? They may ask you some, but I think it'll be better to go with the 15-year option. Okay, better to go with 15-year option. Yep. Or what did they say? Plan option 2 with option 2, because you will save money in long run, right? Okay, so that's that. Example 2. I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the very last one. Let's go over this one together, and that will be it for 9.5. Well, 2 and 3, 2 problems. Suppose you have a student loan of $69,850 with an APR of 5.5% for 30 years. What are your required monthly payments? If you want to find the monthly payments, we know how to do that. Equal sign PMT. APR is 5.5% divided by 12. And per is going to be, 12 payments per year for the next 30 years. So do 12 times 30. And the present value of this loan is $69,850. And the future value, we want that loan to be 0, right? So that's the formula you will need, and if you hit enter, it's going to tell you that the student loan amount, your monthly payment, is going to be $396.60. Okay. The other day, guys, my husband was trying to pay his monthly student loan, and I don't know if you are in repayment period already, but with Corona and everything, I think they said he doesn't have to pay right now, but with this Corona, I think some people may not be able to pay the student loan. So I was surprised to see that, because I never saw that before. So what are your required monthly payments? $396.60. Okay. Suppose you would like to pay the loan off in 15 years instead of 30. So he's like, you know what? I want to pay more, but I want to be done with this loan in 15 years instead of 30. We can figure out the monthly payment for this person, right? So change everything. Keep everything the same, but we're just going to change the 30 to what number? 15. And it's not like he's getting a better APR for going 15% for 15 years. So we'll keep everything else the same. And before I hit enter, let me just take a quick picture of this. Oh, wow. It went kind of a lot. $570.73. And the question is, can I afford this every month? Of course, it's going to be better in terms of, in long term, but the other important question is, if I sign up for this and if I miss a payment, wouldn't they charge me like late fee and something like that? So, we got the payment. If you can afford $570.73 instead of $396.60, it's always better to go with the shorter loan term than the longer loan term. But let's answer the rest of them. What else do they want to know? Compare the total amount you'll pay over the loan term if you pay the loan off in 15 years versus 30 years. Okay, we can do that. So let me do the 30-year first. And you know how to do that. We're going to do the equation. Not equation, we're just going to multiply. If you go with 15-year, the payment is $396.60. You're going to multiply this by 12 because you're paying that every month. And you're doing that for the next, what? 15 years, right? So how much is that going to be? Type this in your calculator for me. I'll do that too on my cell phone. 396.60 times 12 times 15. Oh, I'm going to double check this number because it came out a little bit bigger. 396.60 times 12 times 15. Oh, that wasn't wrong. It is $71,388. Okay. So even in 15 years, oh, no. I'm making a mistake. This amount was not for 15 years. This one was actually about what? 30 years. Oh gosh, it's going to be even more than that. Sorry, I was using the wrong number of years. I'm just looking at this much for 30 years. Okay, this much for 30 years. So let me multiply one more time. Sorry about my confusion earlier. 396.60 times 12 times 30. Oh goodness. I'm double checking because it came out so big. I can't believe this. 396.60 times 12 times 30. Yes, it is. It is for $142,776. And this is for in 30 years. Okay. So you only borrowed how much? About $70,000. And you wait 30 years to pay off your student loan, and it's gonna be $142,000. Okay, that's not really good. All right, let me go ahead and do the other one. Maybe the other one is a little bit, it better be much lower, right? Type up an equation for that one. So what's the payment amount? $570.73 times 12 for the monthly payments, but then this one will get multiplied by only 15, right? Only 15 because we're paying this off in 15 years. So multiply on your calculator for me. 570.73 times 12 times 15. Now it's still over 100,000. It is 102,731.40 cents. And this is the amount in 15 years. So it's less. It's about $40,000 less. And what can you do with $40,000, right? A lot of different things. Is it really $40,000 difference? Minus 142,776. It is really $40,000 difference, approximately. What can you do with $40,000? You got a nice. I can probably, because you guys, you know, we're doing that project for new car. I may be able to put that down as like a down payment on my Toyota Tundra, huh? So anyways, compare the amount. When they ask you to compare the amount, I guess you can subtract and report that $40,000 number. But I got these numbers for you. And when you are doing your homework, just look for what my math lab will ask you to do. Maybe they will ask you to subtract and find the difference. But that is it. Just something for us to think about. Something very important for us to think about. All right, let me do the last one. Suppose you have the following three student loans. $120,000 with an APR of 8.5%, 15 years, $16,000 with an APR of 9% for 20 years, and $13,500 with an APR of 10% for 10 years. What a mess. But you know, this does really happen though. If you have, I mean, this happens to people who go to schools with higher tuition. As you transfer to these four-year institutions after you leave Nova, and the tuition may be higher, and you may have to borrow from multiple sources. And a lot of people really do. I think I did too. So one loan is 15 years, another is 20, and the last one is 10 years. They want you to calculate the monthly payment for each loan individually. Okay, So we'll do that. We can do that. So first loan, let me go with the first loan first. And because I'm figuring out the payment, we're doing PMT function. Rate is 8.5% divided by 12, right? And that one, the end part is going to be 12 times 15 years. The present value is 12,000, and do not put comma for 12,000, because if you do, Excel will think we're going to the next entry, comma, and we want the future to be 0, right? So if you enter that and hit enter, ta-da! The first student loan will have a payment of $118.17. Let me put those over here. That's not much, but that's just from one loan, right? That's just from one loan. So we have to do this for 2 more loans. I'm gonna stop the video and I will ask you to do that and come back and double check with me, okay? So that I can have it ready for you. Back. So I got these 3 monthly payments for each loans. First one came out to be $118.17. Second one should be $107.97. And the last one, it came out slightly bigger because they had a shorter loan period. Oh no, guys, I'll be back again. You know why? You know what I did? I kept the same loan amount. So forget the last 1 minute. Okay, I'll be right back. Back again. Okay, so when I first tried it, I forgot to change the loan amount. Each of these 3 student loans have different student loan amounts. So the first one, 8.5% for 15 years, $12,000. That's going to give you $118.17. The second one had 9% APR for what? 20 years. That's why I'm doing 12 times 20. And the loan amount was $16,000. So I shouldn't keep 12,000 there. It should be 16,000. And the goal is still going to 0. And that payment comes out to be $143.96. The last one is 10% interest for the next 10 years, and the amount borrowed is $13,500. So if you enter that, you will get these 3 payment amounts, and you have to pay all 3 of them. So let's find the total, calculate the total you will pay in payment during the life of these 3 loans. So notice they each have different loan periods. So the first one that I have, $118.17. I need to pay that for the next 15 years, right? So that's going to be the total amount that I will pay for the first loan. Plus, what's the second one? So the second one amount is $143.96. Guys, look at me. I'm forgetting to multiply that by 12. All right. I'm multiplying the second amount first by 12 first. And we need to multiply by 12 because we're making monthly payment. And we're doing that for the next, what? 20 years. All right, let's do the last one. Plus, I'm going to multiply the loan amount, the payment amount of $178.40 by how much? Well, 12 months first, and then we're paying this for the next 10 years. So if I do that, I mean, the last one will end first, and then the first one will end, and then, you know, the last couple of years, I'll just be paying the $20. But if you go ahead and type this in your calculator, let's see what we get, okay? I'll do one at a time, one number at a time. 118.17 times 12 times 15. The first loan, I'll start typing in over here. The first loan amount is going to, the payment amount is going to be $21,270.60 plus, I'm doing the second parenthesis now, okay? 143 times 96, 143.96 times 12 times 20. And that middle number comes out to be $34,550.40 plus, all right, what about the last one? 178.40 times 12 times 10. The last one comes out to be $21,408. All right, let's find the final sum. Add them all up together. 21270.60 plus 7455.40, and then 21,408. And that comes out to be $77,000. $229 total. So, remember this person, I mean, if I just simply add up the loan amount, 12,000 plus 16,000, and then 13.5 thousand, we really borrowed $41,500, but we really ended up paying $77,229 because each of them had interest, and some of them were going from like 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. So that's what it is. Now, and financial institutes may like approach you saying that, hey, we can do better, we can save you some money, and I'll offer something. Like, see right here, a bank offers to consolidate your 3 loans into a single loan. Now that will make our life a little bit easier, because instead of making 3 student loan payments every month, if they consolidate your 3 loans into a single loan, you just make 1 payment. So I guess that's a good side. Instead of dealing with 3 payments, you're just going to pay 1 payment with an APR of how much? 9%. The question is that good enough though? Let me see. 9% APR, because I remember, let me see. The first one was 8.5% APR. That was lower than 9%. This one was 9%. The only one that I had higher than 9% was the last one. But okay, so let me see what they're offering. They're offering a single loan with an APR of 9% and a loan term of 20 years. Oh, loan term of 20 years. What will be your monthly payment in that case? Let me first figure that out. In order for me to pay this loan off with the other 3 lenders, I need to first borrow from this bank how much? Remember the 3 loan amount that originally borrowed, 12,000, plus the second loan amount was what? 16,000. And then the last loan amount was 13,500. If I add them together, 12,000 plus 16,000 plus 13,500, that comes out to be 41,500. If I want to consolidate my loan into a single loan, I need to borrow this much from this new bank or this new lender, okay? And I'm borrowing this at 9% APR for the next 20 years. So let's find the monthly payment. And this is the amount I need to borrow to pay off 3 separate student loans. So this is the new loan amount. But the loan amount does not always equal, and it's never going to equal the actual amount of money that you're going to pay off. So let's first figure out the payment, okay? So payment. This is kind of fun. It's long. The payment is going to be the rate of 9% divided by what? 12 for monthly. They did say 20-year payment period, so I'm going to do 12 times what? 20. And then lastly, well, not lastly, the loan, the present value of this loan. Remember, we just got that to be 41,500, right? That's the amount that I need to borrow to pay off the other 3 lenders. And then the future value is going to be 0. We want nothing left on the student loan, so enter 0 there. If I hit enter, I got that to be my student, what's it called? The monthly payment. Okay, let me enter this. Let me go ahead and type these in. Now, right now, I'm like, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Because what was the monthly payment for the 3 separate loans? What was the monthly payment for 3 separate loans? We can figure that out real quick together, right? So let's see. If I consolidate, if I go with this new bank, I'm just going to pay $379.39 every month for the next 20 years. How much was the original payment on these 3 separate loans? I'm going to go ahead and add up these 3 numbers real quick. 118.17 plus 143.96 plus 178.40. If I add these together, I got $440.53. So here's the good part, guys, okay? Listen. We just lowered our monthly payment from $440.53 to $370.39. So our monthly payment went down by $67.14. It sounds good, doesn't it? But is it really that good? Let's take a look. The last question, and then we'll ask you is this. What will be your total payment over 20 years? Because remember, when I had those 3 separate loans, one of them was finished in 10 years. The other one was finished in 15 years. Now this one, I have to pay this for the next 20 years. So what will be my total payment over this 20-year period? I can do this. I can figure this out by simply multiplying, right? So let's see. $373.39, which is a good monthly payment, times 12 times 20. Or do that on your calculator for me. 373.39 times 12 times 20. Really? When I get a big number, I freak out. And you know what? Let me just do this on my tiny calculator over here so that you can see. 373.39 times 12 times 20. $89,613.06. 89,613 time point 60 cents. 60 cents. Okay, now what should we do? We should compare this to the original total amount that we would have paid if we stick with that 3 separate loans. Now, what was the amount? If we keep it as 3 separate loans, we were going to end up paying $77,000. If we refinance this loan, we're going to end up paying $89,000. So what's your decision? What's your financial decision, guys? Would you refinance? Will you go and consolidate your 3 loans so that you can have a single lower payment? Or would you just keep it as 3 separate payments, slightly more, $67 extra every month? But then, in the end, how much are you saving? You can take this big amount, $89,613.60 minus $77,229. In long term, in long run, you're going to save about $12,384.60. So $12,000, what can you do with that? So if you know what you want already, if you're like, I gotta do everything to lower my monthly payment, then you should consolidate your 3 loans and pay a little bit lower every month. But in long run, it looks like consolidating and taking out, refinancing the student loan is really not a good idea, right? Because you'll be paying more over the 20-year period. So I hope this lesson will help you make some good financial decisions in the future. And we used Excel because, we're making some big decisions, right? And I'm not going to say we're going to be typing these tiny little things on a baby calculator and something like this. We will need like a better calculator like Excel when we do solve these complicated life problems. So hopefully this was helpful. Your homework problems are on my math lab. I will be back with the second lesson on Wednesday for you, okay?